We're going to install Linux Mint using the something else method and do a little bit of manual partitioning. Let's see how we go. I'm going to continue. We're not going to worry too much about any of these settings or that one there, which I normally select. This is where we're going to choose something else and continue. And we're going to hit new partition table. It's going to go crook at us, but we're going to continue. And now we've got some free space to work with. I'm going to click the little plus. We could choose here the mount point. We could just go with the / and go OK and install it that way, which would be pretty much the same as taking the option a couple of steps back of just installing, taking all the defaults through the installer pretty much. So we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to put the system on a partition at the start of the drive, and then we're going to put our home folder on its own separate partition. We're going to change these numbers up the top here. That's 128,000 megabytes there, so we'll make that, we'll go 40,000, which will give us about a 40 gigabyte drive, a little bit less. And we'll make it primary at the beginning of this space. We're going to use extension for journaling file system, and we'll use the mount point as the /. So we'll go OK to that. And there it is there. And in the rest of this free space here, we're going to make this our home directory. So we're going to click on it on the free space, and then we're going to hit the plus. We could make this a primary partition if we wanted to, but seeing as how the installer here, the partitioning tool, is defaulted to logical, we'll run with that. That'll be fine. And we'll put it at the beginning of the space. So we can see up the top here, this green section is going to be the system, which we've given 40 gigs, and we're going to use the rest of this grey area as our home folder. And it's going to be a logical partition at the beginning of the space, and we've just selected all of the space there. If we wanted it just to fill up, say, from where the mouse cursor is there up to here somewhere, and leave some free space, we could do that by reducing that number there by hitting the minus and dropping it down a little bit, but we're just going to use all of the space. And this time the mount point will be /home, and once again we're using the extension for journaling file system, so we'll go OK to that. We should see this change colour up the top, and there we go. And we'll hit install now. And we continue. Obviously this is the point of no return here, so we're going to run with that. We'll work our way through the rest of the installer. And we'll take the rest of the defaults there as well. So we'll pick this up when it's finished and have a look at the partitions. It's finished installing, so we'll do a restart and see what we get. The system's booted up. Let's go and have a look. We'll open the file manager. I'll split the file manager in half, just so we've got on the right, we've got our home directory. On the left, we'll go to the file system. So you can see the file system has got down the bottom here 29 gigabytes of free space. And if we click on our home directory, you can see we've got 82 gigabytes of free space. We'll start disks. Have a look at the partitions in there. So this is what we've got. 40 gigabyte file system and 80 something gigabyte home directory. And this is just the extended partition that it's within. We'll create some new folders. So we'll just leave that on the desktop because this is in our home directory and it's just called it Cinnamon Test 1 or Sin Test 1. We'll close out of there. We'll reinstall another version of Linux onto here, and we should get these same folders on the desktop. We'll shut down and we'll set up another install and go from there. We're going to install straight Ubuntu, where we had Linux Mint Cinnamon moments ago, and hopefully we'll still have our folders on the desktop as we left them before. I'm going to click Try Ubuntu and we'll let it get up to the desktop. We'll click the Install Ubuntu icon. Ubuntu, however you want to say that. And again, we're going to pretty much just take all the defaults. So we're going to go for a normal installation. We should get the option to do some partitioning here in a moment. There we go. Again, we're going to choose something else and continue. This is our Linux Mint installation, and this one here is our home directory. So we're going to click on the Linux Mint one. We're going to replace it with the Ubuntu. Now we're going to select Change, and do not use partition. We're going to change that to extension 4 or ext4 journaling file system, and we're going to format it because it's got stuff on it already. And once again, the mount point is just the /. We'll go OK, and we'll continue. There we go, the format is checked, so we're going to hit install now. And we're going to continue. Once again, we'll pick this up at the finish and see what we get. Installation's finished, so we'll restart Ubuntu. Okay, so what's happened this time is we've installed the whole system into the 40 gigabytes at the very start of the drive. So if we go for disks, everything's in here, including the home folder, because we didn't stipulate where the home folder was going, so we're not getting a space readout there, but 32 gigabytes free, so we're only using about 8 gigabytes. And if we go to other locations in the file manager, the original home directory here, if we go to the desktop, that Cinnamon test folder should be there, which it is. So let's just get out of everything there and let's shut down, and we'll do take 2 of Ubuntu, and we're going to try Ubuntu. We'll just let it go up to the desktop. We'll run the installer. And we don't want any updates. We're just going to go for a normal installation at this point. At this stage here, we can see it's got a few extra options here. We're going to choose something else and continue. And so this is where we're going to put the system, and this is where we're going to put our home directory. So the system on the 40 gigabytes and the home directory on the 80 gigabytes. So we'll start with the system. We'll click Change, and we'll select extension 4. We're going to format the partition, and the mount point is just the /. So we're good to go there. And we're going to continue. At this point we could actually install it, but what's going to happen is the whole system is going to get put into this 40 gigabytes, including our home directory. But we want our home directory into this 80 gigabytes, nearly 90 gigabyte orange section, which is here. So we're going to click on that and we're going to go Change. I'm going to select extension 4 again. The mount point's going to be /home. Yeah, so /home. And we do not want to format the partition. Obviously, if you format it, you're going to lose all the data in your home directory. So we don't select that. And telling it home, it'll detect that there's files and folders there, and it'll just lay this down over the top of that, so to speak. So we'll go OK. So now we've got our system going back into the green, into the 40 gigs, and home should go into the orange section here, into the nearly 90 gigs. And we should have our cinnamon or sin test 1 folder on a desktop when we're all done. So we'll finish the installer off. And we'll pick this up again when it's finished. Once again, the installation's finished, so we'll click restart. And if we've done everything right, we should have that sin test 1 folder on the desktop when we get in here. And there it is. And so now our system is in here. We can see it's mounted at file system root, and this should be mounted at home, which it is. This partition is our home partition. This is the system partition that we've been using. This time we're going to do something a little bit different, and you can see we're using Zorin OS 15. We're going to actually start gparted. And we're going to see what we can do with this. This is the 40 odd gigabytes on the left where we've installed Ubuntu, and we had Cinnamon there, Linux Mint Cinnamon there originally. It's got Ubuntu on it now. This here's our current home partition. We're going to move this, resize and move it. We're going to see if we can slap Zorin in the middle here somewhere, so we're going to have a dual boot system sharing the same home directory. So we'll click on the one we want to address, which is this one here, and we'll go partition, resize, move, and we'll just, the arrow goes to a double head there. When you come near the end, you'll see, if you play with this yourself, double-headed arrow. So we'll move this along till we get to about, we'll do about 30 gigabytes. That'll do. That's nearly 29, so we're going to see if we can put Zorin in there. So we'll hit resize, move, and it's saying it might cause your system to fail, so we're going to run with this. Next, we're going to set this partition up here for Zorin, so we'll hit we'll click on it, and we're going to go partition new, and we'll just go with logical. That's the only option it's giving us there, and we'll give it a label. We'll call it Zorin just to help us identify it, and we'll add that. And now we'll hit the little check mark to apply the changes. We'll click apply. That might take a little while, so we'll let it go. Now, due to that warning we got before, at this point in time, the computer may actually be unbootable. So you've probably already, at this point, crossed the point of no return without having to repair it in some way. So we'll close out of there. It looks like it all completed okay. Let's close down gparted. We'll start the installer. So we've got another partition here called Zorin. So we'll get the installer going, and we'll continue. and continue again. And I'm just going to deselect those to speed up the process a little bit here. So once again, you can see it's detected that we've got Ubuntu 19.04 on it, and it's offering to install alongside. Yet we don't get any choice of where that's actually going to install Zorin. It's not necessarily going to put it onto that partition that we just created. Off the top of my head, I'm not actually sure I have any idea which partition it would choose for that. So we're going to choose something else, and this will give us the control that we want. So we'll go continue. So we know this first one here is about 40 gigs. That's got Ubuntu on it. We know that our home partition is now shrunk down to, well, there we go, nearly 60 gigabytes. And we just made one about 30 gigs for Zorin. So we'll start with this one for Zorin. So we'll click on it and we'll hit change. And we'll choose extension 4 again. We'll format this one. And the mount point will be the /, so that'll put the system in there. We'll go OK. And now we're going to tell it to put our home directory in here, but we don't want to format it again. So we're going to choose this one. We're going to click change. We're going to choose extension 4. The mount point's going to be / home again. And once again, very important, do not select format the partition, otherwise it's going to wipe everything out. So we'll go OK. We'll click install now and continue. And we'll come back when this is done again and we'll have a look, see what we get. We'll give it a restart and see if our folder appears on the desktop. We can see we've got Ubuntu down the bottom there, so we'll boot into Zorin up the top. And there's our sin test 1 folder that we created, so we'll make another one here. And we'll call it Zorin test 1. We'll reboot into Ubuntu. And with a bit of luck, we should have both those Cinnamon and Zorin test folders on the desktop. And there we have it. 2 systems sharing the same home directory on a separate partition. So this is where we currently are. It's mounted at file system root. That's just a piece of free space there. You can ignore that. This is Zorin, which is unmounted. And this one here is our home directory, or this partition. And this should be mounted at /home. And there it is, mounted at /home. I have run a system like this before. However, I did get some unexpected results when the 2 systems are sharing the same home directory, because some of the files, depending on what applications you're running and so forth, can be read and dealt with a little bit differently between the 2 different systems. But a lot of people do run 2 systems this way. So if it works for you, go for it.